Hello everyone, welcome back to Believer Science Academy, Bengaluru. This is topic of the discussion, and in today's topic we are going to discuss the topic of the code of conduct for the judges need to follow. Okay, in this video we will see why it is in news, what are the code of conduct a judge has to follow in India, what are the implications if a judge doesn't follow the code of conduct, and what are the impeachment process in India, and other things we'll be discussing in today's class. So it is in news, it is in context because Justice Shekhar Kumar Yadav, who is the High Court Judge of Allahabad, faced criticism for his remarks at an event organized by Vishwa Hindu Parishad on December 8. Okay, he is a judge of High Court. He attended an event organized by Vishwa Hindu Parishad. There he made certain remarks which have been criticized all over India. What are the remarks? Were his comments suggested that India should function according to the majority's wishes and included controversial views on religious practices and the Uniform Civil Code. Okay, so these are contentious issues, and as a judge of a high court, he went there and made some remarks which raised eyebrows, such as India should work according to the majority's issues. Okay, it is against the very basic constitutional ideals of India. Okay, constitutional ideals of India is that it is not just because of majority, it also aims to protect the wishes of minority. Okay, that is why fundamental rights are provided. Fundamental rights are provided irrespective of the strength of the community. Okay, so these are the comments which are against the ideal comments expected from a judiciary. That is why it has been news. And various legal bodies and individuals, including All India Lawyers Union and senior advocates like Kapil Sibal, have condemned these remarks as a breach of judicial ethics, and they want criminal proceedings against him. And then so what are the judicial ethics framework? Okay, how does judiciary works? How does judicial code of conduct work, and what is the framework in India? First one is primary code of conduct. Primary code of conduct, it is present in the restatement of values of judicial life, which was code of conduct. It is the key code of ethics for judges. This is the restatement of values of judicial life. Do notice though, there is a question, you can expect a question like this in the mains. Okay, there you can use this point as your answer for substantiality your answer. What does it mandate? Under this, it mandates that the judicial behavior must reaffirm public faith in the judiciary's impartiality and avoid actions that undermine this perception. Okay, it doesn't define what is a judicial action, like how a judiciary should act, but it just says that a judiciary should function in such a way that it reaffirms the faith of citizenry that judiciary is impartial. Judiciary is impartial, and judiciary is there for upholding the constitutional values, and it should not, like a judiciary or an individual should not act in a way that is going to undermine the judicial ethics or undermine the perception of judiciary. Okay, so what the action did by the Allahabad High Court justice is against this action, because now people think that judiciary is in support of majority, judiciary is in support of Uniform Civil Code. Okay, so this goes against the primary code of conduct. Then judges must remain aware of the public scrutiny and avoid actions eroding the public trust. Okay, this action of the High Court judge is against this one. And other one is like another framework which deals with the code of conduct is Bangalore Principles of Judicial Conduct, which was declared in 2002 by the judiciary. According to this, how should a judge act is, judge must maintain conduct both in and out of the court to uphold public confidence in the judiciary. Okay, it is not just the action of judiciary or the judge in the court, but also outside of the court that should uphold public confidence in the judiciary. Okay, this question many criticize that judge, even though he is a judge of high court, even though he is judge of judiciary, even though he is a part of judiciary, he is an individual, he has his own ideas, he is not acting in the official work. Okay, he is not saying these words in the judiciary, he is attending an event in his personal capacity and he is remarking, like doing the remarks there. So it should not be considered as a breach of code of conduct because it is outside of the court. But according to this Bangalore Principles of Justice, the actions of judge should not only be proper in but also out of the court. So the actions taken by this judge is against the Bangalore Principles of Judiciary. Then they are entitled to freedom of expression, but must preserve the dignity of judicial office. Okay, here the high court judge, okay, he expressed his freedom of expression, he used his freedom of expression, but in doing so he didn't preserve the dignity of judicial office. It eroded the public trust in judiciary in one way or other. Okay, the charter emphasizes equality and the understanding of social diversity. Okay, he should have understood the social diversity. He said that country should work on the majority's wishes. So does it understand the social diversity? No. Okay, that is why he has been under the scrutiny. Now another thing is, if these are the code of conduct, how does contempt of court work? What is contempt of court? Okay, there is contempt of court. Contempt of court is any action taken by the judiciary. If there is any action taken by the judiciary, in contempt of court is any action which is against the judicial orders. Okay, there are two types of contempt. One is civil, another is criminal. Okay, contempt of court is derived from Article 129. Article 129 establishes Supreme Court as the court of record. Okay, court of record, and our Article 215, which establishes High Court as the court of record. Article 129 is Supreme Court, 215 is High Court. Both establishes these courts as the court of record. Along with establishment of these courts as court of record, there also comes kind of sanctity or dignity of the courts. Okay, if you are undermining the dignity of court, it amounts to contempt of court. Within contempt of court, there are two types: civil and criminal. What is criminal? Civil is you are not following any undertaking given to the Supreme Court or judiciary. Suppose there is an order by the High Court, or there is an order by the Supreme Court, there is even order by the subordinate courts. According to this article, High Court or Supreme Court has held that it is not only the contempt of these two courts that amount to contempt of court, but it is also the contempt of subordinate court also, because of the dignity of subordinate courts, the higher courts also work on it. Okay, even the contempt of subordinate court should not also be done. Okay, so contempt should not be done for even subordinate courts. So if you have taken an undertaking in the initial days, but if you fail to follow this undertaking, it amounts to civil contempt of court. Okay, for example, the subordinate court gives a decree or order or judgment that, okay, in certain so and so case, it says to the person that, okay, we are not going to put you into the prison, but we are going to have you come to the police station or come to the judicial custody and then sign some certain documents in so and so dates. Okay, you might have seen this in movies. Okay, they have to go to certain police station, then they have to sign there. And if they fail to, this is an undertaking, that the undertaking here is, I'm going to sign in police station that I'm here only, I'm not out of the state or I'm not out of the country. But if you, even after the undertaking, even after the judicial decree, if you go out there and fail to do this undertaking, it amounts to contempt of court. Okay, and there is an order given by Supreme Court. Okay, there is an order given by the judiciary, and if you are becoming an impediment in the successful implementation of this order, that also amounts to contempt of court. For example, in the Young Lawyers Association case, that is Shabarimala case, what did the court upheld? That women also have the right to enter the Shabarimala temple, and there are many people who were not allowing this order to be passed, meaning they were surrounding the temple and they were not allowing the women. Okay, they were against the order given by the Supreme Court or the judiciary, so it also amounted to contempt of court. Or another thing is, if you come in between the judiciary and you stop the judiciary from performing their action, okay, that also amounts to civil contempt. And what does criminal contempt amount to? Criminal contempt is like you are scandalizing. Okay, so you are using any scandalizing signs or scandalizing words in the judiciary. Suppose there was an example in High Court of Hyderabad. There is an individual who was not happy with the judicial decree, and he showed the middle finger in the class. Sorry, not in the class. He showed the middle finger in the court itself. That amounted to criminal contempt. Criminal contempt. He was fined and he was also jailed there. And other thing is, if you might have seen in the movies that a person is going and is kidnapping the judge, or if he's going and he's hitting the judge, etc., etc., is threatening the judge, that also amounts to criminal contempt of the court. So there are certain contempt which amounts to contempt of the court. This is given so that we have to uphold the sanctity of Supreme Court or High Court or the judiciary, so that everyone should follow the orders of judiciary. If there is no contempt of court, if there is no fear that if you are going to go against the orders of judiciary, you will be punished. If there is no such fear, then it will lead to anarchy. Okay, as a result, contempt has been given. There are certain exceptions. Exception here is fair reporting of, okay, fair reporting in the sense whatever is told in the judiciary or in the court, if you are reporting it a fair without any negative this thing, that can be that cannot be considered as contempt of court. And also if there is fair criticism, okay, fair criticism, that also doesn't amount to contempt of court. This is how we protect the judiciary's sanctity, okay. And how a judiciary should protect its own sanctity, that is by following the judicial code of conduct. Okay, in many cases that is not followed. Now moving to the next topic within this one, that is impeachment process for the judges. Okay, Supreme Court judges impeachment process is very difficult and very detailed, because judiciary is the backbone of Indian constitution. Okay, it is the upholder of Indian constitution. So if the judicial impeachment or if the removal of judicial judges or the Supreme Court judges is a simple process, it is going to undermine the independence of judiciary. As a result, constitution itself mandates a thorough process for removal of judges. It is provided under Article 124 clause 4. Okay, under Article 24 clause 4, what is the process of removal of judiciary? The process, okay, there are multiple steps. The step 1 is, if you want to remove a judiciary judge or if you want to remove a Supreme Court judge, first you have to introduce a motion, that is removal motion into the either of the house. If you want to introduce a motion to the either of the house, that motion should have either support of 100 members in Lok Sabha or support of 50 members or MPs in Rajya Sabha. Only with the support of these members, only if they sign that you want to introduce a motion, then only the motion can be introduced. Once the motion has been introduced, next step is voting on it. Okay, before the next step, the speaker, okay, or the chairman, speaker in the Lok Sabha and chairman in the Rajya Sabha, they can constitute a committee. To check the validity of the motion, whether the motion demands to be whether the motion has the result to be introduced in the Lok Sabha or not, whether the motion has any depth or any content to be introduced in the house or not, whether it is just a fluke. Once the committee checks out the motion and it suggests that it can be introduced, then the step 3 starts. What is step 3? Step 3 is voting in either of the house. How is the voting? Voting is through special majority. Which special majority? Special majority is 2/3 members present and voting plus 50% of total strength of the house. Okay, so it should satisfy both the conditions. Only then it is said to be passed by one house. Once it is passed by one house, step 4 is it is sent to another house, suppose Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, and again if the chairman or the speaker of that particular house feels that there should be another committee to be set up to check into the or inquire into the process, they can also constitute the committee. After committee says that it is okay to move forward with us and it will be introduced, again there has to be special majority. After passing by both the houses, then it goes to president. Okay, here president, he also has a mandate or he also has an option to constitute a committee. Constitute a committee of 3 members. Okay, 3 members including a member from judiciary, a member from executive and a legal luminary. Okay, these members will see into the charges. If they find that it has satisfied the ground. Okay, another thing, what is the ground for removal of judiciary Supreme Court judge? Okay, the ground says that proven misbehavior or incapacity, that is the behavior of the judge is misbehavior or he is incapable of upholding the rights of or values of Supreme Court or the judiciary. On these 2 grounds, impeachment process can be constituted or impeachment process can be initiated. Once everything is passed, So president is going to like constitute a committee, and if the committee concludes that okay, judge's behavior is beyond proven misbehavior, and if the judge's behavior or judge's action is not capable, then he can be impeached from the Supreme Court. Till now in India, there has been no instances where a Supreme Court judge has been impeached. Okay, so this is the impeachment process. This thorough process shows that judiciary is protected and there is independence of judiciary. Okay, the judges of Supreme Court and High Courts can be removed by the President after a successful impeachment process. Ground is proven misbehavior, incapacity. Requirement is support of 2/3 of the House members present and voting, and a special majority of the total membership of the House. Okay, I already explained this one. And then in-house procedure. Okay, there has been in-house procedure within the Supreme Court also. That procedure which we explained before is a process which will be done in Parliament. Okay, it is done by the legislature and the executive to determine the judge's favor, fate. Here, judiciary itself has an in-house procedure. Okay, this has been evolved by the Supreme Court to handle allegations against judges without the public embarrassment. They said that any action of the judiciary which is less than the grounds of proven misbehavior, but it is misbehavior, but it is not the proven misbehavior, or if it is incapacity. If there is any action of the judiciary which the judiciary feels that it is of misbehavior, or it is proven like less than misbehavior, and the most of the times what happens here is the judicial government or the legislature doesn't feel like taking up these cases, because it is going to put certain pressures on the government, and it is going to have criticism or opinions from the opinions from the people, so they tend to move away from this one. Okay, there was an example about Justice Karnar. Justice Karnar was a high court judge, high court judge of Tamil Nadu, I guess, and he was transferred from Tamil Nadu to Kolkata, I guess. Okay, when he was transferred from Tamil Nadu to Kolkata, he claimed that he's been transferred from Tamil Nadu to Kolkata because of the fact that he belongs to Dalit community. Okay, many people said that this is proven misbehavior. He is accusing people who is responsible for transfer of judiciary high court judges. It is done by the president, but it is recommended by Supreme Court judges plus judge of chief justice of that particular high court and chief judge of another particular high court. Okay, in this case Tamil Nadu and Kolkata, or Madras and Kolkata. He said that they are doing this because I am belonging to Dalit caste or Dalit community. So they felt that, or the judiciary felt that it was proven misbehavior, and many people suggested the government to take up the impeachment process, but the government was not ready to take up impeachment process because it felt that because he belongs to the Dalit community, it is going to have repercussions, okay, implications on the rule of government. They felt that they are going to lose the mandate of the people in coming elections, so they didn't take up this case. So judiciary what did this? It took up the case upon itself, and it said that because your comment are like this, it gave a judgment. In that judgment, it said that though it is a proven misbehavior, but you are not being impeached, but you can be suspended. Okay, so any act which is less than proven misbehavior, if there is no impeachment process, but if the judiciary feels that it is misbehavior, then it can give a judgment or it can give an order about suspending, etc., but not the complete impeachment. Okay, so complaints are addressed to the Chief Justice of India or relevant High Court of Chief Justice. In this case, about Justice Karnan, case was filed in Chief Justice of High Court. There will be investigative committee, the fact finding committees with the two Chief Justice from other High Courts, and High Court judge assess the allegations which I already explained you. Okay, in case of Justice Karnan, Chief Justice of Calcutta High Court and Chief Justice of Madras High Court are involved, and along with other High Court judges. Judges can be advised to retire voluntarily, and refusal may be made to formal impeachment proceedings, but this has not happened. In most of the case, what happens is judges will be made to they will be suspended for a short period of time, then they will be reinstated back to the court or judiciary. Okay, so what is the key highlight of our discussion today is that judges hold immense responsibility to preserve public confidence in the judicial impartiality and independence, so they should think twice before attending any such events. They should think twice because any action taken by the judiciary has a huge implications on the public trust. Then misconduct or biased remarks can lead to significant scrutiny and cause for impeachment. Okay, and frameworks like the 1997 Code and 2002 Bangalore Principle ensure judges act ethically and uphold the dignity of the office. Okay, very short topic but very important topic, but from both prelims and mains perspective. Okay, there can be a question about code of conduct of judges has been provided in the Constitution of India. That statement becomes wrong because it is not provided in the Constitution of India. It is rather provided by 1997 Code and Bangalore Principles, which are defined defined by the judiciary itself. Okay. So these are certain points which are very important from both prelims and mains perspective. Do note down the points which I have told you. And also the impeachment process of judiciary is always important. There can be at least one question from the judiciary every year. So be thorough with this one. Okay, so this ends our discussion today. If you have any doubt, you can write in the comment box. If you like the video, then hit on the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.